It's too late. It's too late. We're live. We're live. Whoa! I didn't even see you put them on. So it just froze and then they appeared. Hello. Hello everyone. Welcome. Welcome. Whoa! Where have they gone? Oh man, the lag in your camera setting is just phenomenal. It's really playing all kinds of crazy tricks. Where have you gone?
Yeah, I might just turn off the camera altogether just to I'm just gonna turn it off just because like it's one of those things, you know.
A man of mystery. Okay, so hello everybody. Welcome to the business focus activity. Today we're looking at advanced telephoning. Advanced, not just regular telephoning, advanced, because we believe you can do it. We have the power. So okay, excellent. Carl is still here. Just before we begin, we'll introduce ourselves, and if anyone, and I do see one of you, is watching, then please say hello, tell us your name, tell us where you're from. My name is Jadene, and I am from London in England. I am a teacher in Milan.
Very good. Me too. I'm also a teacher in Milan. My name is Cathal, and I am from a small village to the north of Dublin in Ireland.
Ooh, how exciting! Ooh. Yes. Don't be alarmed by the fact you cannot see Carl. His voice will guide us smoothly through today's focus activity on crisis calling. What is crisis calling, Carl? Or what is a crisis?
So a crisis is kind of like an emergency situation where something bad is happening. And so crisis calling is kind of a phrase that is used whenever a bad situation is happening. And I guess everyone's like the telephone rings and you would say, uh-oh, crisis calling.
Okay. Would you? Uh-oh, you need to include the sound effects. Very traditionally English spoken language sound effects.
Yeah.
Whoa. But yes, exactly. So maybe some of you will find this topic of interest or at least relevant, because with all the social distancing, definitely telephoning is something we have to do a lot more. And I can confirm that we are in the midst of a crisis. So we're in the middle.
Yes.
Crisis. Exactly. Okay. Carl, would you like to read the first slide?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got in this business activity, managing a crisis on the phone, describing an emergency, and preparing someone for bad news.
Okay. So maybe I need some of these tips as well. I'm not very good at preparing people for bad news. I tend to just drop the news.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Just throw it at them.
Yeah. Hi, how are you? By the way. So yeah, maybe there'll be some nice leading information. Okay. So on our first slide, give me a break. So the first paragraph says, riddle me this. And already I love this phrase. So Carl, what does riddle me this mean?
Good Lord. Riddle me this. I guess it's kind of one of those things where someone is asking you to like come up with an answer, come up with a solution for something. It's like riddle me this. Like come up with a solution for this.
Exactly. A riddle, I think a lot of in European countries they call enigmas. It's just like a problem that you have to solve. Usually it's some kind of mystery or rhyme, and it can be for a mental challenge. But we also get faced with real life riddles every day.
God, yeah, exactly.
Have you had many riddles, Carl?
Oh, so many. Too many to count.
Many. Oh, whoa.
Too many.
Okay. Many a riddle. I've just seen that Clara has said hello from Parma.
Hey.
Welcome. I'm trying to attend as many business classes as possible during normal time, and I like the use of the little speech marks.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't have a chance to attend these type of classes because remember more than one. Because they don't match with my slots, but I really like them and they are useful. Oh yay, that's good.
Nice.
Well, you have our
So,
complete attention, Clara.
yes,
So
you're
you
the
are. If you
only
have any
one
questions,
here.
yes, exactly. We are all yours. Um. So riddle me this. This is for both of you. A man wakes up on a hot day on the beach and screams with terror before dying in a pool of water. What happened? Wow. Wow, there is a lot that there is a lot that happens in this paragraph. Carl, are you there? Is it just me? Clara, are you there? Hello? Okay. So now it's just me and you, Clara, one on one. Um, do you have any solutions to this riddle or enigma? Because really, I have no idea. A man wakes up on a hot day on the beach and screams with terror before dying in a pool of water. Ah, okay, maybe I do have an answer. Oh, look who's back. Back again. Carl's back. Tell a
Okay.
friend.
I don't know what's happening. My internet was fine for the last lesson that I had. My internet was perfect, but I don't know what's going on.
couldn't couldn't keep up with the business. With the
Yeah, the
business.
business
Um,
getting
but I
down to
think I
business.
I solved the enigma. Okay, so Clara, when someone says riddle me this, it just means solve this problem. Um, and a riddle in general or an enigma is a short story or kind of like a joke, but where there is no punchline. It's a problem you have to solve just for your mental, yeah, for your mental training.
Hmm.
Okay, so Clara doesn't have a clue. Do you have any ideas, Carl? Because I think I know.
For which guy?
So a man wakes up on a hot day on the beach and screams with terror before dying in a pool of water.
Lord.
So I can think of
Uh,
what kind of thing hates the sunlight or cannot survive in warm or sun.
oh my god, he's a vampire.
No, but also I was thinking more something to do with snow.
Oh, yes, it was a snowman. That
Yeah,
makes
there
more
you
sense.
go. There we
No,
go.
I think
It
a
would,
vampire. I think the vampire would be good too. Wow,
but
maybe.
then why does he die in a pool of water? Is he just sweating it
I
out?
don't know if he's on the beach. Yeah, he was sweating. There's a pool of water underneath. Maybe he's in a swimming pool. I don't know.
Okay, well, it's just something to get your brain going anyway. Yeah, it's true. Maybe the vampire just dies in the ocean. It's possible.
Oh dear.
It's possible. Okay. But Carl, will you read the cold calling? And before you do, can you just explain to Clara and I what is cold calling?
So yes, cold calling is something that maybe we're all familiar with, unfortunately, as when a company or like a representative from a company like just calls or like contacts you with no prior warning or no prior like appointment. So like a cold call is something that you can like you'll pick up the phone. They'll be like, "Hello, would you like to talk to me about your car insurance? I'm here to make your life easier." And I was like, "No, I don't want to do that at all. That's like not a good idea. I want to do." This is actually something I used to do this, but not over the telephone. I used to go to people's houses to try and sell security alarm systems to
Oh
them in
God.
Ireland. Yeah,
No,
and
door
that's like
knocking.
like that's even worse. That's even worse than cold calling because even like if you're on the phone, like they can't see you and the rejection is fine. They just hang up. Whereas if you like go to their house, you knock on their door and you explain everything, and then they fucking close the door in your face. I'm sorry for swearing. It was terrible. It was a really bad experience. It's just terrible. I hated it so much.
Oh my goodness.
It's just not good.
It's like a cold shower. What do you mean, Clara? Like the experience is
Cold
like a
shower.
cold shower? Like shocking and horrible?
I'd be
Or
really uncomfortable.
is,
Really uncomfortable.
is it another phrase?
I
Okay.
know is
Okay,
that
so we are
I'm
not
sorry. Brought back some like PTSD for me there. I'm sorry.
I can tell, no problem, no problem. I'm glad that you are out of that situation. Um,
Yeah, me too.
um, okay. So, so we won't. Okay, yes, she meant the experience. Yes, okay. It kind of is like a
Yeah,
cold
yeah,
shower, just being thrown
yeah.
like you're surprised. It's horrible. You feel
Oh,
uncomfortable.
oh no.
Um,
There's so much. There's so much pressure.
okay. So we won't role play the cold call. I don't think that's necessary. But I did think that cold calling was a good
Oh,
piece of vocab, and I also think this
yes.
question at the bottom is useful. So again, Clara and Carl, when is it acceptable to disturb someone on holiday? What do you think are some
Ooh.
acceptable reasons?
So like when, like in what situations you mean?
Yeah,
All
if you
right.
know someone is on holiday
Um.
or on vacation or just not in work, when is it okay to call them?
Hmm. It's an interesting one. I'm not sure. I guess
Or is
only
it?
like it depends on. I mean, it depends on the person, like the person's position in the company. Like if this person is just like a ground level worker, and they're on holiday, and there's like 10 other people who can do their job, then it's probably not acceptable to disturb them on holiday unless they are the lead. But if it's like a manager or a director of something or project manager, for example, then maybe if something goes awry in the project, then it's probably acceptable to um, to disturb someone.
I see. So do you think then if you're in a managerial position, you don't get holidays?
I
As
mean,
it,
no, you don't really
you
like.
have to deal with it.
Exactly, your phone is always on. You constantly have to deal with all the
Oh,
situations that um,
horrible.
that come up. Yeah,
I see, I see. And what do you think, Clara, as well? Do you think it's ever
yeah.
okay to call or message someone on holiday to disturb them? And disturb is a good word as well, because what does disturb mean?
S- Disturb in this case, I guess, is like to bother someone
Yeah,
or
exactly.
to interrupt their kind of experience. I guess you could say.
Yeah, exactly. When they obviously don't want it, it's not something that they want or were
Mm,
expecting or were okay with. So disturb is definitely it has more of a negative kind of connotation to it. If you are disturbed, you
mm.
are well for me anyway. I think it's saying okay. So Clara says it cannot be acceptable apart from emergencies. I mean, if you are the only person who can solve the problem, they can disturb you. Okay. Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, for
But if
sure.
it's not an emergency, then leave me alone.
Yeah, don't disturb me. Put the phone on do not disturb mode.
But the problem is, isn't it, that if you are on holiday and you don't get disturbed, it's great. But then when you go back to work, those problems are still there waiting for you. So
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know what's better. If it's better to do them over your holiday or to come back and just have this pile of mess.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think holiday time should be holiday time. You shouldn't have to stress, because if you're like disturbed on your holiday, then your holiday could be ruined. Your whole experience could be changed just because you're worrying about what's going to happen when you get back,
That's
even though there's nothing
true.
that you can do from your position.
That's
Like there would
true.
be nothing you can do. Like if you're in the Canary Islands or in America or like China, wherever you are for your holidays, I don't know, but like you're not going to be able to help the people from there unless it's like maybe something technical that requires a laptop. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of one of those. It's
So
weird. It's a
you would
new situation.
prefer your holiday to be a holiday then.
Yeah, and
You
then come back.
leave it for future, Carl.
Yeah, yeah. Or even like just kind of like even just kind of get them to send you an email. Maybe send them a text and send you a text like, look, obviously you're on holiday. We want you to enjoy your holiday, but when you get the chance, check your email on your way back. We've got to work on something like that, as opposed to just, oh my God, everything's falling apart. We need as much help as possible.
Yeah, sure. Okay, Clara also agrees. She says, yeah, I like the double H. Like, really, yeah. A holiday is a holiday. It's necessary to relax and switch off the mind. I agree. Okay, so just
See,
underneath the beautiful beach
Clara and I were on
picture,
this now.
um, under this lovely, beautiful picture, we have some key telephoning language. Would you please go through it, Carl?
Yes. So we've got. Could I speak with whoever, please? Could you repeat that? I didn't quite catch that. I'm not sure I follow you. If I understand correctly, these are all kind of key telephoning phrases that we can use. And I mean, you can use these in class as well. I mean, not just on the telephone, but
Yeah.
if you like are in um, a situation where you're speaking to someone, you can also use some of these phrases. You know, if you don't quite hear them or you don't quite understand them, you just say, "Could you repeat that?
Mm,
I didn't quite catch that. I'm not sure I follow you." If I understand
okay.
correctly, is like the start of a phrase where you you say what you understand back to the person, and then they will tell you if it is correct or not.
Exactly. So I think that this lesson goes through them in more detail. I can't remember.
Hmm.
So we're about to find out. But first, we have this wonderful case study and also some
Oh,
vocabulary. So, Clara, as we read out the case study, if there's any vocabulary that we don't go through that you are still unsure of, please let us know and we will try.
hmm.
Um, so I will read the first paragraph and you get to read the longer one.
Oh, damn it! Oh, I hate that.
You are such a soothing voice. So
Okay.
case study. Yeah. Alpha Apps. Alpha Apps CEO Erin Wilkins is on a much needed holiday after a long year of crisis, headaches, and 12-hour days. He is currently vacationing in beautiful Aruba off the coast of Venezuela. Monica.
Mm.
Aruba,
Well,
Aruba.
that is a
That's
song,
a
right?
great
It's like
song. That's such a good
It's
song.
Bermuda. It's Bermuda is the one from the song. They
Bermuda.
go
Yeah,
Bermuda,
we can change it.
Bahama.
Don't worry.
Don't
Don't worry.
Okay, right. We can turn it
It
to
can be
Aruba.
Aruba. It can be Aruba.
Okay, all right. Now, for my soothing voice of this paragraph. Back at the office in London, however, the team is on red alert. A beta version of a photo and film editing app that was not ready for release made its way to the major app stores. The silver lining is that there have already been many downloads of the app. Bad news is that bad reviews are already piling up. Aki, project manager for the app, realizes he has to act quickly to resolve the situation. If you were Aki, what would you do?
Okay, so we have some vocabulary in red to go through. Again, Clara, if you already know the definition of these words, then let us know. But we also have the question at the end. So if you were Aki, what would you do? Dun dun dun. Riddle me this. But before we start, I didn't know that vacation is also a verb. To vacation. Can we say to vacation?
Well, yeah, they said it there. He is currently vacationing in beautiful
Vacationing.
Aruba. I mean,
Yeah, I've never heard
it
anyone say
kind of.
to vacation, but yeah, it's kind of the
It's
same as
not very common.
holidaying, going on holiday.
It's he's currently on vacation in beautiful Aruba. I mean, this is
Yeah,
just giving you another one. In conversation, we would use on vacation. Maybe
yeah.
this is just being written down as just something different.
Or maybe we can be more flexible with our language. We'll all try today.
Oh,
Instead of saying someone is on something, we'll see if we can switch it around. It's kitchening.
okay,
No, it
okay.
doesn't make sense. But cooking,
No.
working, vacationing, shopping, being. Anyway,
Yeah. I am Aruba-ing at the moment.
I'm a
Excuse me. I'm.
Rubering. It works. I think it works. It's not an official word, but people would know what you mean. I'm I'm staycationing. I'm quarantining. So there
Hey,
you
there you
go.
go. Quarantining.
Okay, so the vocabulary we have red alert, which I'm sure everybody is aware of what this means. What does it mean if something is on red alert?
Just like an estate, like on red alert is like to say you're on red alert. It's like you're as possible. So like ready for.
Okay, I don't know which of us has frozen, but just in case it's not me. So, okay, interesting, Clara. So, does it mean that the team already knew something would have happened? Yeah, kind of. Red alert is like when a situation is beginning to become bad and quite quickly, so you know that the problem is going to get bigger and you are preparing yourself for this. So we are on red
Like
alert. In a less serious, well, no, just as serious, but in a less serious example, you can imagine like if a woman is pregnant and she is maybe near going into labor, she is at 9 months, or she goes into labor, but the baby is not here right now. She has been having some contractions. Maybe they are real, maybe they are fake. The family can be in red alert because they are preparing for this big thing to happen and they know it's coming soon. So I hope that makes some sense. Let me know if it was clear or not. And then we have a beta version or a beta version. I personally say beta, but everybody else I know says beta. So it's up to you how you choose to pronounce this word. So based on the context, it says a beta version of an app that was not ready for release has been released. So if something is not ready for release, and it's in a beta stage. We can say, oh, that's great. We can say it's in the testing stage. Yeah, kind of. So it's something that's not ready, but specifically it's to do with technology. When they are still testing all the technology, some people are able to use it, but so that they can give feedback and say, okay, this is good, or no, I don't like it. For example, if Facebook or Instagram make some changes, usually a few members of the social networks see the changes first and then give some feedback. Yes, I like it, or no, I hate it. And this phase is the beta phase. Welcome back, Carl.
Hello, sorry. Oh god, I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna leave my camera off because I think my camera might be contributing to the bad connection. I don't know why. Usually if I turn off my camera, it's better.
Oh, it's such a shame. We do like seeing your face, but for now we will have to deal. So next we have silver lining. So again, looking at the context, they say the silver lining is, and then they follow it with something positive. So the silver lining is that there have already been many downloads of the app, which is a good thing. So what do we think silver lining means then based on this context? Okay. And then the final phrase we have, final piece of vocabulary, is that something is already piling up. So a pile is another word for a stack, or a number of things together. So if bad news is piling up, what can this mean?
Yes.
And we also have a pile, which is a noun. Or we have to pile, which is a verb. And you can do the exact same things with a stack and to stack. So, do you have any ideas, Carl, for silver lining and piling up?
So silver lining would be like in a bad situation, there is something good that has come out of it. So not the negative aspect, Clara. The negative aspect is so we have a phrase in English which is every cloud has a silver lining. And so the cloud is the bad situation. The silver lining is kind of the good thing that has come as a result of the bad situation.
Exactly. So the silver lining of the early release is that people have been buying the app. So people have been paying them to have it.
Yeah. So the bad situation is that the beta version was released and like that's a mistake.
Exactly. So then finally, if something is piling up, we can say, as we mentioned, a pile is a large, or a stack is a large amount of things that has come together. Okay, great. And also, Clara, this phrase I hear a lot. I've caught it. I've caught the meaning. But usually in English, we say, I got it, or I've got it, to mean I understand it. So yeah, finally, if something is already piling up, we can say...
I'm gone again. Am I back?
Yeah, you've come back. You've come back
with
a large number of sound effects. And yes, Clara, okay, so piling up, yes, is similar to coming up, But it's also when a lot of things are coming up. So, for example, maybe at home, you have a pile of laundry. So when you are stacking or putting all your dirty clothes together, this is a pile of something, a lot of something together. So if lots of bad reviews are piling up, it means that there are lots of bad reviews coming in. Okay, so finally, if you were Aki, what do you think you would do in this situation? Would you message your boss, or do you have a different solution? And while you think about that, okay, I forgot what happened next. I had to check. Are you still here, Carl?
I'm still here now. I think it's I just
Okay.
literally I've plugged my computer out of where I was and just walked over to the other side of the room to get closer to the router.
Okay, cool. So maybe you can help me then. If you were Aki in this situation, bearing in mind that your CEO, your boss, Aaron Wilkins, had a lot of issues recently. What would you do? What would you do?
I mean, this is something that, like, I guess is. He's the project manager. Aki is the project manager, so he should be able to deal with the problem. But at the same time, this is the question: should the CEO be informed or not? I think as project manager, if you've been given the role, you've been given the position of project manager, you should be able to make that decision and decide, because then you can at least live with the consequences. Whereas, like, if you're like the CEO, you shouldn't really need to get the CEO involved with something like this. It's a project that you're in charge of. If it's something that the CEO was overseeing, for example, then maybe you get him involved. But it's clearly something that Aki is in charge of. So
okay, so for
I'd say,
you, it's a question of whether or not you should inform the CEO.
yeah.
Okay.
So I think maybe don't inform the CEO. Try to solve the problem yourself.
Okay. I agree, actually. And Clara says if I were Aki, I would try to figure it out with the other colleagues in the office. I would read the bad reviews and adjust the app following the suggestions. I think that's a great idea. Probably I would try to recall it. And to recall something just means to take it back and then release it again, and everyone who had paid for it would just have it for free. Or I would send a newsletter, maybe, but I don't know if it's bad for business to admit that your company has made a mistake, like releasing something early. So I'm not sure from the press side of things.
I think you would take a hit in the short run, in the short term, but then in the long term, obviously having the complete app and having the proper app available to everyone would be a far better option than going with the already broken one, I guess.
So let's see what Aki does do. Oh, he calls the CEO.
What an idiot! Oh, why would you do that? Oh my god.
If only
Aki,
we were there to give him the advice.
Oh
Carl,
god.
would you like to be Aki or the CEO?
Oh, I don't know. Well, I'll be Aki.
Okay, excellent. I will be in the position of power. Tell me, call me on my holiday.
How do you like this? But we're having a meltdown.
Wow, he just breaks it. Ah, how did I not see this coming? Well, go ahead. I'm listening.
I hate to bust, but we're having a meltdown. Oh god, you this, but somehow my app went live.
So that's good, isn't it? We were delayed on the project anyway.
No, not the Grover app, the other one.
The editing app? You must be joking. I'm not hearing this. Wasn't it still in beta?
That's the problem. It's full of flaws and it's been downloaded 2,000 times already.
Tell me there's good news. How are the reviews? Aki, tell me it's free.
Well, with all the expectation, it went live at $3, but the reviews are awful.
Let me get this straight. We've been charging for a beta version.
That's about the size of it. What are we gonna do?
Oh, Aki, you and your comedy timing.
Oh, Aki,
Okay.
no.
So there is again a lot of vocab, lots of phrases in this. So and because we're quite short on time as well, Clara, please definitely reply to the questions, but we do have a delay between when you send a message and when we can see it. So while you reply, Carl and I will talk through it anyway. So question number 1, how does Aki disturb Aaron, and what does this expression mean? So what do you think, Carl? Ooh.
Well, Aki says, "I hate to bother you like this." He says, like, "I'm sorry to bother you like this." You could say as well.
Yeah.
Aki is going to be fired, Clara. Absolutely, yeah.
Oh no. Okay, here's a good question. So a flaw, Clara, is an imperfection, something that is not perfect. So if something is full of flaws, it's full of small errors or big errors, and it's definitely not in the perfect phase. But yeah, exactly. So Aki says, I hate to bother you like this. To bother is another way of saying to disturb. So I hate to bother you. I hate to disturb you. I'm sorry to, tell you. Then the second question, how does Aki prepare Aaron for the bad news to follow?
Oh God.
Personally, I
Yeah,
think
he
he does
kind
this
of.
very badly.
It's like, well, you won't believe this. um, God, he's really not handled this situation well. This is why I said do not call the CEO. Oh dear. Clara, let me get this straight. She's wondering what "let me get this straight" means.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's a phrase that you use when you want to clarify something with someone. So they have said something, and then you kind of repeat back to them what you understand. But before you repeat it back to them, you start off with this phrase. Okay, so let me get this straight. Like, let me understand this properly, kind of.
Exactly. So, yeah. So then we have, you won't believe this, Carl. What do you think about this phrase? What does it mean?
It's a terrible phrase to use, particularly in this situation. But no, it's something that you're kind of um you're saying that like something has happened that sounds unbelievable, but
Yeah,
it's usually used
you're shocked by
I don't
it,
know.
maybe.
Could you use it in a negative and a positive way, or is it just negative?
Definitely. No, you can definitely use it in a positive way. For example,
Yeah.
if you got a job that you weren't expecting to have because you thought the interview was bad, you call
Mhm.
your friend or your mum or your partner and you say, "Oh, you won't believe this, but I got the job." So it can definitely. I think it's used if a situation is surprising. If everyone is
Exactly.
surprised by it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so then our next question: how does Aaron show surprise?
Dear. So Aaron shows surprise by saying phrases like "you must be joking" or like "I'm not hearing this." It's just kind of showing that he's shocked.
Yeah, he cannot believe it's true. He thinks there must have been a mistake or it's a joke. It's very
Yeah.
sad. Very
It's like,
sad state of surprise.
I'm not
Usually
hearing this.
surprise. Nope, I'm on holiday. I'm dreaming.
I'm
Usually
dreaming. Yeah.
surprise, especially when we teach English, I think has only positive. connotations, but we can be surprised in a negative way at times, and it's literally just when we were not expecting something to happen. And finally, I think finally, how does Aaron check that he understands the situation? So we did have one example. I don't know if there's another example.
So that's using our phrase.
Exactly.
Thanks.
So let me get this straight.
Let me get this straight.
Yeah. So to confirm, we've been charging for the beta version. And how does Aki tell Aaron he's correct? And I do quite like this phrase, even though I never use it.
Yeah, so he says that's about the size of it.
Exactly. And what does that mean, Carl? That's about the size of it.
Well, yeah, basically just saying that what someone has just said is basically correct, or basically you've judged it well.
Okay, I like that as well. You've judged it well. Exactly. So, now we have another question. What do you think Aaron will tell Aki to do? Clara's already told us she thinks that Aki is just fired. So he's got no further instruction. His further instruction is to leave this place.
Aki knows exactly what to do. God.
What do you reckon? What do you think Aaron will say to him?
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Okay, so that's another excellent way to ask someone to leave a room or situation. Don't let the door hit you on your way out. Leave. And it's definitely not a nice way of saying it.
Oh no, it's a terrible, terrible way of saying it. Well, if you hear someone say this to you,
don't let the door, but they want the door to hit you. So we don't have much time left. But we can do this task, and then I'll see what else we have, and if not, then we'll just do a summary. So here we have 5 different categories, just to consolidate that we understood what these phrases mean. We have phrases for when we are disturbing someone, phrases for when we are preparing somebody for bad news, phrases to express surprise, checking for understanding, and also confirming something is correct. So, which phrases can we use to disturb somebody? And I like as well that there are a few more phrases on this list than what we saw in the conversation. So, Carl, would you mind reading them out?
Yes. So the phrases, I'll start on the left-hand column. I hate to bother you like this. I hate to tell you this, but you're really not going to like this. Let me get this straight. I'm sorry, I'm speechless at the moment. I'm really sorry to disturb you. You must be joking. Then we have, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. So you mean to tell me that? That's about the size of it. That about sums it up. I'm not hearing this. You won't believe this, but. So Clara here, actually, she has a question. She's wondering, what does that about sums it up mean? So you can use to sum up something, Clara, is a phrasal verb to kind of summarize.
Yeah.
To kind of give an overall view of something. So if you say that about sums it up, it's like that is basically it in summary. So it's very, very similar to saying that's about the size of it. So those two would be very, very similar phrases.
Okay. Carl, do you know if this slide, if I keep pressing play, if it will sort it, or if we just have to talk through it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, we can just go. We could just click through. If it doesn't, then we can just talk about it.
It's all. Don't worry, it's all here. We can just talk it through and then end the lesson. So to disturb somebody, we have the phrases, I hate to bother you like this. I'm really sorry to disturb you. Are there any other phrases you can think of, Carl, for when we disturb someone?
Yeah, I hate to bother you. I'm sorry to disturb you. In terms of disturbing someone, I mean, I would still use those phrases like bother you, like I'm sorry to bother. You could use like different combinations. Like these phrases are made up of different parts. So I hate to disturb you. I'm really sorry to bother you.
Mm. I also
Those
like
kind of
this
things.
phrase, which is a kind of, this is more if you don't know if you're disturbing
Ooh.
someone, but maybe you are. You say, I hope I haven't caught you at a bad time. And then that means the person on the other
Yeah.
end of the phone can say, yeah, you have, or no, it's okay, what's up?
It's a terrible time. Go away.
Leave me alone. No, sorry. Um, so yeah, so that's another way. Then we have preparing for bad
Yeah,
news.
Clara, nice.
You won't. Oh,
She
what's
said
she
here,
say?
I hate to
I
annoy
hate to.
you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a really nice one. Um, so
Yeah.
then we have preparing for bad news. You won't believe this, but I hate to tell you this, but you're really not going to like this, which is quite a good one. And I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Probably the last one I think is the best for me personally.
Yeah, I think I think the last one is the kind of most professional one, maybe. Like you won't believe this. I hate to tell you this. You're really not going to like this. Whereas I'm afraid I've got some bad news. It's kind of more subdued, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a nice way to prepare someone. You're really not going to like this is probably my least favorite because it's just
Yeah.
like why are you telling me that? Don't tell me this.
Yeah.
Um, and then we have expressing surprise. So you must be joking.
Yes.
I'm not hearing this. And I like this last one. I'm sorry, I'm speechless at the moment, which just means I don't know what to say. And you can also
Mm.
say, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, yeah. Or something like maybe, oh, this can't be happening.
Yeah, just denial. I don't believe
Yeah.
it. It can't be happening.
Yeah.
Um, and then we have checking for understanding. So let me get this straight. And so you mean to tell me that? And usually, again, we follow this up with what we think. So the
Mm.
person can either confirm it, yes, that's what I meant, or tell you, no, sorry, you have misunderstood, and retell you.
You could also say in like for checking for understanding, something along the lines of, so what you're saying is.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. So what you're saying is, or also just to say what you think and then follow it by, is that correct? Or is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And these are really good and common ways to check for clarification. And
Exactly.
finally, we have confirming. So that's about the size of it. That about sums it up. Are there any other ways, Carl, you can think to confirm? I would probably just say exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely right. Or um, got it in one.
Oh, yeah. So probably in a bad
Yeah.
situation, you don't want to be like, yeah, you got it.
Hey, got it in one. And you're like, what? Wait, what?
Oh, clever. Thank you.
Uh,
Um, okay, so we're nearly at the end of the lesson, Clara. If you have any questions, please ask now. And
mhm.
just quickly to summarize, so we've gone over some different phrases we can use when delivering bad news on
Mhm.
a telephone call, and also to clarify and confirm information. And these, like Carl said, do not have to only be used for telephone calls. You can use them in spoken language or in telephone calls that aren't negative. That's
Yeah,
also an option. And we also look at some vocabulary to do with apps and I think bad situations. So red alert, we've said, is when people are preparing for something bad because of the current situation. A beta version is a technological testing version. Silver lining is something good that comes out of a bad situation. And if something is piling up, then there is a large amount of something happening. Okay. So if there are no questions, thank you so much for interacting with us. Yay. Okay.
Yes, Clara, thank you so much.
Woo, and it was lovely. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye, guys.